Alright, so let's kick this video off with probably the weirdest question I could ever ask you. It could probably get weirder, but hey, let's get straight to it. If I told you to eat an airplane, how would you go about it? Would it be the same as this guy in this photo? For those who don't know, and those who haven't read the legendary Guinness World Record books, this guy is Michel Lotito. He was a French guy who did wild stuff for entertainment, one of which was eating this plane right here. It took him just under 2 years to do so, but surprisingly, he did it. How do you go about it, though? Like I mentioned, 2 years is what it took. It wasn't a thing where he sat down and in one sitting he had to down the entire thing from tip to tail. No, it was things that he did um, in portions and in phases. Is how he took it. What he would do is take different scraps of the plane. So let's say this um, support pillar right here. He would take this and cut it up into smaller pieces, and then he would use those pieces, grind them up, and then take them with his normal meals and down them with a little bit of mineral oil and water. So it was part by part by part by part, and he'd finish this part of the plane. Next, he'd move on to the wing, or he'd move on to the wheel, or to the propeller in the front of the window. You see, he didn't just sit there and eat it all in one go, because that isn't the way to go about it. Really, he understood it, and the same principle applies for your business. We're not out here eating planes. I can't speak for all of us, but I certainly am not. But we can still apply Michel's principles here too. The same way he went about consuming this Cessna 150 airplane should be the exact same way, like I mentioned, you should go about running your business. See, as a lawyer, there are phases in which you can break the business side of your practice down, and in particular, four of them. So let's go into them. So they are as follows. First, you need to garner attention. Then you need to find a way to convert that attention into, say, an initial consultation. Actually, get on the phone and talk with these people who are coming in, these leads. Then it comes to closing the cases at a high rate, and of course, getting referrals out of those closed cases to get this cycle going. So, um, when we go about optimizing something like this, a system, an infrastructure, we don't go about figuring out, okay, how can we close before the attention problem has been solved, or we don't try and do all of them all at the same time, because our energy is going to be diverted and it'll be a job not well done all across the board. Instead, what we want to do is, of course, start at the top of the funnel. Attention. How are we actually getting leads through the door? A lot of lawyers, they're still sticking to traditional methods like billboards, like pamphlets, like I haven't personally heard door to door, but you get the idea. Outdated methods that don't really work as well as they should. They might be profitable, um, which is the reason why lawyers still do them, but there are higher leverage ways to go about it. And solving that issue would be the first order of business. Next, once we got this sorted, once the cost per lead is low but the quality is still high, we can start worrying about conversions. How do we take an inbound lead and get them to book an initial consultation and actually show up to it? Luckily, this step is a system that's been proven to work by us, and it just needs to be implemented one time. So if you're interested in that and how it can help you land 20 plus cases every 30 days, just hit the first link in the description and book a call with us, and we can walk you through the entire process. Then, after you start getting a good chunk of these people on their initial consultations, at least 75% show up rate, and them being qualified as well. Next, we move on to closing. Now, most of the job of closing will be done because of your heavy qualification, but we want to be closing at a very high rate as well. Probably around 80% would be awesome. And of course, you do your thing in between these two steps by providing your services. Representing someone legally in the court of law and winning them cases and winning them the battles that they're facing. And through those incredible results that you provide, you're going to get referrals. So setting up a systematized way to um, get those referrals back and restart the funnel from the top again. So we want to go by phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and split things up, because that way our energy isn't diverted and we can assure that, hey, this attention phase right here, we need to perfect it and we need to make sure it's up to par, the KPIs are being hit, and then and only then can we move forwards onto the next step and then the next step and then the next step. That way we know that, hey, once we get to phase 3, phase 1 and 2, they're completely taken care of. We know that they work and it's just one step closer to a well-oiled machine. Could you imagine how cumbersome and difficult it would be trying to do all four at the same time, and you don't know what's close to being complete and what's not, and it's just a headache and a nightmare? I personally can, because we've run businesses like this before, and it's a nightmare to say the least. But after moving on to this phase system, life's never really been the same. Now, an application that I love to use for something that's exactly like this is ClickUp. So I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I'm going to switch my screen right here for you real quick just to walk you through our personal template we put together for lawyers about how we can go about setting up the infrastructure to get all of these in place. All right, so welcome to ClickUp. Now, this is sort of what it looks like. I had this on dark mode, but I had to turn it back to light just because my face would have been not as illuminated as it is. So as you can see, we've split up the entire process that we take our clients through from phase 1 through 5. And these consist of steps all along the way, each and every task that we need to complete, all the way from onboarding a client to giving them the results to maintaining those results that we gave them. So if we say jump into, say, phase 4, right, we have 4 things that we need to do. And these have an order to them. They have a checkbox to them. We can assign them to people on our team, set due dates, set priorities, and even view them in much different ways as well. We can view them as a board where we can put them under different pipeline stages. We can view them in a calendar with the due date, and there's a plethora of different views that we have under here too. So it helps us stay organized with any client, and it works very, very, very well. So as you can see, we have 5 phases laid out completely. This is exactly what we take our clients through to get them to 20 plus cases each and every 30 days, which for a lot of them, if you're personal injury and your average close is 5,000, that's an extra 100K in monthly recurring revenue each and every month just by implementing this 5-phase system. So if that sounds like something that is enticing and something that you want to pursue and scale your law practice with, again, hit the first link in the description and we can set up a call and just walk you through the entire process, show you it from A to Z. And if you want to go about it yourself, perfect. But if you want our hand in helping you out with setting everything up, that's a way we can go about it as well. But apart from that, that's all for me today. I hope you learned a thing or two and have a blessed